Hi guys, it's been a while since I've done a video with me actually painting something, so I want to take a little chance today to show you some basic brush strokes. I'm going to do a C-stroke with round brushes and with flat brushes. I typically work with round brushes. After painting for 30 years, that just seems to be the way I work. I apologize, it's been a while since you've seen me. I got a kid off to college and we've just been busy, but it's really all good. All right, let's see if I can get this set up. All right, here we go. All right, as you can see, I have my board here. This is just Bristol paper that I base coated with basic green paint. Over here, I have my wet palette. Oops, just have my flow medium taking a little dive there. All right, so this is raw sienna and Norwegian orange, and this is a little flow medium. I use Joe Sonia acrylic paints. So I have my Norwegian orange. Let's see if I can get a little light on in here. That helps. And raw sienna. Okay, as I promised, I'm using my brushes. On the side here, I actually have my brushes sitting because with acrylic paint, it dries very quickly. I have a piece of plastic wrap, a wet paper towel, and my brushes sitting inside of it. By doing this, it keeps my brushes damp. They don't dry out on me. Again, using a wet palette, the wet palette keeps my paint damp and ready to use. All right, I'm taking my round brush. I am dipping it into my flow medium, and I'm twirling it, as you can see, twirling using my fingers into the red paint. This way I have a bit of a point on it. Okay, my C-stroke, I am going to start two ways. I'm going to either go thin to thick or thick to thin. Let's see how this lighting is working. Too much. Let's see. Nothing like experimentation on the fly. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to push my bristles down. I'm twirling it in my fingers. I'm bringing it up and over. Let me do that again. So I'm pushing my bristles down. I'm twisting it in my fingers. I'm pulling it to here. About here I stop twisting and I start pulling my brush up so that I end up like this. I want to use my entire length of my bristles so that way I can go from thick to thin without changing my brushes. So again, pushing down, I'm twisting with my fingers. I stop twisting around here. I am pulling that brush up and over. Now it's a little thin on my paint there, so I'm going to add some more paint to it. I'm just going to go over that stroke. I'm pushing down. I twist to about here. I pull my bristles up. It's kind of like a plane taking off and then over. I don't rush this brush stroke because if I brush it, it's going to go in all different directions. And if you notice, I'm taking it and I'm going this way with it, and I'm following. I'm using my hand here as a brace to hold my brush basically upright because I want to have that full movement. If I'm down like this, I can't get that nice long flow. So again, you want to be up above it. You want to push your bristles down. I'm going to twirl, 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 stop twirling, pull it up, and like the plane taking off. I can do that same thing, and move this a little this way, in the opposite direction. I am pushing my bristles down, I plop it down, I'm going slow, I'm twirling in my fingers, I stop twirling here, and then I just naturally bring it around, and then it takes off. One more paint in there. Again, let me make that head of the scroll a little thinner. I'm pushing down, I twirl to here, and then I take off. Now, I can do it in the opposite direction, do it thin to thick. Here's where I want to get that brush twirled nicely. I'm going to start thin, I'm going to start upright, I am going to take it, pull it towards me, and like the airplane landing, I'm pushing that brush down and around here. I'm going to start twirling it. My paint's a little too thin right now. Now let's do that again. So I'm starting thin. I'm pushing down. Twirl. Now I stop my brush and let it stop of its own accord. I can go in the opposite direction. Twirl, twirl, twirl. And I don't like how that is. And that's okay. I kind of gave myself too little room and I went a little too fast. That happens. So let me try it again. I'm coming up here. I'm starting upright. I'm pulling the brush down. And around here, I'm going to start twirling and around. Don't like how little paint I have on that, so we'll go over it. Come around, twist, and down. Well, sometimes they're not as successful as you want them to be. Let's try that again. One of the things with doing Rosemaling is practice. You have to practice. These basic stroke work, the C strokes and the S strokes, are what make up Rosemaling. All of the different art styles, all of the different styles within Rosemaling is based on this stroke work. And you'll see this stroke work in other folk arts and other designs, as you see, cantus carving, anything like that. These are very important. All right, so very quickly, just because I showed you with the round brush, with a flat brush here, I am going to just kind of side load into my paint here. And I'm going to do the same thing. Blot a little bit. I'm going to start from the top. I'm going to push that brush down. I'm going to twirl it. I'm going to stop twirling my fingers and start coming up to that chiseled edge, like the plane taking off, and you get a nice finish. Let's add some more paint to that. Let's do that again. I'm going to push down. I'm going to twirl. And then I'm going to come up to that chiseled edge. I can do in the opposite direction. I push the bristles down. Notice I am not going fast. I'm twirling in my fingers. I stop twirling here and I am taking the pressure off. I'm not enough paint. Do it again. I'm taking the pressure off of it to get it to come around. Now this is porous. It's not allowing me to flow as nicely as on a prepped piece of wood, but that's okay. So let's do it again. Push down, come around, and let the brush take off on its own like an airplane taking off. I could do in the opposite direction. Let's start thin. I'm coming around. I'm going to twirl here and bring it around. I'm going to start on the opposite direction and bring it around. Oh, that was ugly because I tried to rush. See, even I go a little too fast. Now you're going to find that some ways are easier than others. Well, let me rephrase that. Some directions will be easier for you than other directions. You're going to find you prefer different directions. I prefer to start with the thick and come thin. I can certainly do this. Now, just to show you very quickly. So, if I do a flower like this, I have a nice little C. I come in and I do another nice little C. And then later on, I'm going to come back and show you how to build an S stroke off of that C stroke. Again, it's all about using the entire brush. You're going from a chisel to using the whole thing down to the ferrule. You don't need a ton of brushes to do this. All right. So that's a little primer in stroke work. I will come back another day soon and show you some more. Have a great day. Oh, that was very bright. Ooh. Okay, bye everybody.